Hey everyone, the Divine Miss Ash here. And last night I got some really pertinent and important information. I was talking to the goddess Kai over at EnvisionsTarot. Good morning, Dawn. And we were both talking about how we have been feeling pretty triggered, pretty angry and desperate and wanting to be in control. And what was this all about? Good morning. There she is. And some really important information came through, like information that I wasn't even fully grasping. It was like it was there on the peripheral, but I hadn't grabbed it yet and pulled it down into my life. And so that happened through that correspondence that we had last night. And I told her, I was like, all right, I'm going to have to go live because this is too important not to share. So if you've been feeling kind of like you're on a roller coaster ride, a lot of kind of anger and frustration, this desperation kicking in, like needing to grab onto things and hold on to it, then this is definitely for you. So I'm seeing people here saying, anyone else feeling extreme anxiety, like you're dying, but there it is, guys, we are dying. And I don't mean that in the physical sense. This is exactly what we're talking about. We are going through a transformation, a death of our old selves. That is what this feeling is. In fact, when I was talking last night with EnvisionsTarot, she said, like, all of a sudden, like I have this extreme fear of dying. And I said, that's because we're going through a death. Hi, good morning, everybody. So guys, I spent most of the morning just kind of sitting down and channeling some ideas, and I want to share them with you. And so, I apologize if I'm looking over here, but I just want to make sure I'm hitting all of the important bullet points here, okay? We are in a time of flux. Every single one of us, we are going through something that we didn't know, we didn't expect. It's not like it was before. I am not here to talk about COVID-19. That is not what I'm doing here, okay? This is I keep seeing the word event. This is something where we are having a huge individual, you're taking notes. Okay, then let me regroup for a second. I literally have to remind my brain to breathe. Is that normal? This just tells me that you are kind of out of your body. You need to get grounded. Okay? You need to be in your body. Don't be scared to be in this humanness. That's where you need to be in order to take action. That is something that took me a long time. Like I always wanted to be connected. I always wanted to feel ethereal, but you can't move if you're not in your body. You can't take action. You can't make change. So ground. Imagine your tailbone reaching down into the earth, grounding into the earth. So let's go ahead and officially get started. You ready? We are in a time of flux. Nothing is ever as it has been before. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about Corona and its purpose and why it's here. That is not what this is. Yes, it is all happening at the same time. But what we are going to talk about is an event that's happening for individuals right now. Okay? We've already talked about it. Cycled emotions, anger, desperation. Then all of a sudden, excitement and liberation and unconditional joy, and then alignment, and then sadness, and then anger again. And we're like on this little treadmill, and it's exhausting. I commented yesterday, like every day in the afternoon, I just get so zapped and drained because it's like my energy is going through this treadmill without me even noticing it and what is happening. So, just like one of you just said, it feels like death. We are going through a death, you guys. And if you have been through a dark night of the soul, or several, you know that that is absolutely necessary and a part of the contract that we took here as light workers. So, this is a death of our old selves. Something actually that we have asked for, we have prayed for, we have hoped for, okay? We are asking, we're like, I want to heal. I need help. I need to let this go. I need to be unattached, remove my cords, cut my cords, help me move on. This is the answer. And I don't want anybody to be put into fear, and you don't have to like it, Jacqueline. You don't have to be put into fear over this because it happens all the time. I promise you, you have already gone through multiple deaths because that is the only way to truly move forward. For these things to truly happen, to truly cut our cords, to remove our cords, to release control, to really finally heal, we can't just walk away because all that does is it creates distance. And another way that we can think about distance is, I'm going to distance myself from this. I'm going to avoid this. I'm going to distract myself from this. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. And it's not going to work. And we're going to talk more about that here in a little bit. But we can't just distance ourselves from what we're feeling anymore. We have to burn it and rise from it. Okay? Distance is just avoidance. It's distraction. It's space. I'm putting space between myself and what I'm feeling. But healing, it's sitting in it. And I've been being told this for days. Like, what are you feeling? Sit in it. Sit in it. And why? We're going to get into this in a little bit later too, but it's like if you sit in what you're feeling, you will eventually just kind of breathe into it. And you'll notice, guys, I'm just sitting in a chair, okay? My emotions can't hurt me. My survival is not physically threatened by feeling what I feel. The ego doesn't want you to feel because then you're going to make a change. Your emotions are here as a compass. They're here as a roadmap. If you feel something unpleasant, that is your soul going, we're doing something that we don't really like. This isn't where we're supposed to be. And then you change. The ego doesn't want you to change. Change is death of what we know. So the ego is going to fight that. Okay? But what I'm seeing is the circle of life, right? We literally, we're born, we deal with all this stuff, and then we break down and we refertilize for new growth. And that is what is happening here. So the first big point that I want to talk to you guys about is narrative. And I'm going to tell you this. I had somebody say this to me in December, and it irked me. And it irked me because I wasn't ready for it. That was pretty. I wasn't ready for it. Because what I was doing is I was talking to my aunt, and she was saying, okay, so what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I've been through a lot of trauma, and I have this wonky nervous system that puts me into fight or flight. And so if I push too hard, then this is what's going to happen. And she was like, I'm sorry. You're just telling me about the past. What about right now? Maybe you need to stop thinking about why you are the way you are and start changing where you're going. I don't like it. I was not a fan. I was like, that's who I am. My trauma, my experiences, that's who I am. I am very articulate. I am very self-aware. I am very proud of myself that I can pinpoint exactly where this bullshit comes from. Right? Is anybody else out there like that? You're like, I'm self-aware. I got it. Okay? I can pinpoint the exact moment that trauma went down, and that took a lot of work. Yeah. Okay, that's first. That's first step, you guys. Because now what we're doing, when we keep talking about the past, I'm sorry, I'm still channeling Schitt's Creek here. When we keep talking about that past, what we're doing is we're actually just giving reasoning and explanations and excuses as to why we are the way we are. We're just telling people our patterns and our wounds and our traumas as if to go, well, this is why I act and react the way that I do. But that's the old you. And the whole reason we're talking here today is because what we're experiencing is that old version of ourselves, that old timeline of ourselves is going out the door. That is why our emotions have been kicked into high gear. So what if we stopped looking at where we came from as an explanation for why we are the way we are, and we just started being where we are and where we want to go? So the question that Betsy threw is aren't we supposed to heal that? Yes, We have to heal where we've been, but we don't heal it by just using it as an excuse for why I'm here now. Does that make sense? Like, I can sit here and tell you, okay, here we go, ready? I've gained 5 pounds since I've been home. I've been doing a 3-day juice cleanse. I've been up every 45 minutes exercising. I am not any lighter. You guys, I have a wonky nervous system. When it thinks I'm in fight or flight, anytime I try to do something healthy for it. Great. That's how it used to be. Now I'm just making an excuse. So what can I do now? The point is, we can't keep talking about where we've come from. And that doesn't mean we're avoiding it. It means we have to sit in it. This is where I am. Here's the other thing that goes with this. And guys, I'm going to it's kind of I don't want to say it's scattered, but there are multiple points, multiple layers of this. We have to stop stating the problem and go to the solution. Once more, could you guys hear me back there? We have to stop stating the problem and go for or ask for the solution. I tell my girls this all the time. This morning, I'm thirsty. Great. What do you need? Can I have a drink? Yeah. Don't state the problem, okay? Wonky nervous system. Ask for the solution. Go to the solution. This was my big little ranty post that I made last night while I was grumpy as all get up. I ended up eating a giant plate of cooked carrots and green beans last night because that detox was making me grumpy. Wouldn't you rather dwell in what you want? Exactly. So Jacqueline says, wouldn't you rather dwell in what you want than to dwell in the old? Okay? So here's the difference, okay? So we're talking about sitting in the pain, sitting in the old. That doesn't mean dwelling in it. That doesn't mean I'm doing this in it. What it means is I go, you know what? I have experienced massive trouble with this certain thing. And I'm going to sit into it and I'm going to breathe into it. Exercise. Where on my body do I feel this? Where in my body do I hold this trauma? Take a deep breath. Breathe into that spot several times until it's big and open and it's a bubble. And then you watch little mini version of yourself walk into that space. And you allow yourself to be in it and to breathe in it, to not run, to not distance yourself from it, but to feel it. Here's what I feel. Feel all of it. And eventually, when you sit in it long enough, your breathing returns to normal and you're there and you're okay. And then while you're in that little spot, you can go, hey, we got this. We're going to talk about integrating this in a little bit because what is going to end up happening, we're going to talk about some awesome little metaphors. But yeah, let's move on because I will definitely okay. What we're doing by sharing all of this past stuff, okay, anger. Can I tell you what anger is? It's an outward expression of fear. When we get angry, we're really just projecting that we are scared. And so, sometimes I have to go, okay, what are you scared of? I'm so angry. Why isn't this? Okay. Yesterday, I'm going to air my dirty laundry because I don't know how not to, okay? Yesterday, I woke up and I was so frustrated. And I get like this sometimes. I have a very I need to be impactful energy. I want to make a difference. I want to be significant. I want to share and make a difference. And so yesterday, when I woke up, I had no likes or anything. And I know social media is whatever. Are you using social media or is social media using you? So I was very upset because I'm not making a difference. And I got so angry. I just wanted to burn my business down, you guys. I was I am not, nobody's hearing me. What is the point? Why am I spending all of my time doing this if nobody can hear me and nobody cares and all of this? And I was angry. What fear was I projecting out? I was scared I was unseen. I was scared I wasn't being helpful. I was scared that everything I do is a waste of time. Anger is an outward expression of fear. When you get angry, what are you scared of? So then the other thing that's been kicking up lately for many of us is this desperation, desperately wanting to hold on to something or someone. Like all of a sudden we've been doing okay, and then all of a sudden like we have to grasp on. What if we lose this? What we're doing is we're trying to anchor in to the old us, right? We've been talking this whole time about how we're going through this death cycle. We are trying to anchor in to the old versions of us that is actually trying to bless you, bring you blessings, bring you healing in its departure. It's like, hey, your life is going to be so much better if I just go. So and you're like, oh, don't you want to stay for tea? I have some crackers, some cheese. Ooh, and they're gluten-free, so you should be fine. And you're like, but I'm just, let it go. Let it go, okay? We are not in control, and that is a gift. That's another thing that's coming up, people wanting to be in control. We were talking about this yesterday, and it's a gift because think of all of the times that you would have made something happen in your life if you were in control and how miserable it would have been. How miserable it would have been, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is trying. Like so many people are like, I've been trying. Trying means action. I am trying. Inaction is letting go. We often think of letting go as an action, and that's where we're off. We're in this healing, and what we're supposed to do is open our hands. We're supposed to be in inaction to let this happen, but we so desperately just want to squeeze and hold on because we are told nothing happens unless we do something. And that's not true anymore. So much happens without us doing anything, you guys. So here's what I am here to share. This applies to everything and everyone, or if it doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't. But eventually it will, because eventually everybody's going to go through this. So some of us light workers, and I'm being coined the word leader, and I don't want that to offend anybody, but like people who are really stepping out. And let me just throw this caveat out there, okay? If you hear all of this and you're like, man, I really want to go through this. I really want to go through this death and this transformation, and you start trying to make it happen, that's action. Okay? This is happening without trying, and that doesn't mean that you aren't ready. Well, okay, no, it doesn't mean you're not ready. There's still things you need to learn. There's still a benefit you're getting out of holding on, okay? But they're saying that there is this just kind of like leader, and I don't want to say like, we're the top, we're the Colosseum. It's just the people who've like started lead the way, right? Like the people who ran out in front are going to be in front for a little bit, and then we're gonna, it's the Peloton. We're gonna switch it up. But some of these leaders, we are having old versions of ourselves die off. It feels like a death, and what is actually happening is we are shedding everything from the past versions of who we are, the past versions of the life we've been living. So imagine that every single experience, every single person, every single relationship, every trauma, every memory is an article of clothing. And all we've been doing, Jacqueline's singing with me, all we're doing is adding these layers of clothing on and on and on and on and on, right? Like, oh, that trauma happened when I'm 3. Let me put that guy in a little coat, right? Like we're putting these layers on, this person and this trauma and this relationship. This is the same thing with fear, desperation, attachment, anger. All of these are layers that we've been putting on of ourselves. And what it's doing is it's covering our essence. It is covering our light, our skin, our being. I have been saying this for years, for those of you who've been following me since AEMT for the last 10 years. Guys, ascension is not like this. It's like this. It's a stripping. When we pass, okay, when we move on, when our body is no longer, we aren't buried or cremated in every single article of clothing we own, right? We aren't. So when we are going through this transformation, we can't have all of this on us. So in this process too, we must strip away everything to move into the next stage. Now, what they also show me, I told you I would talk about like sitting in it, is if this old version of ourselves, like let's just pretend like there are multiple copies of us. Oh my gosh, we should all watch Multiplicity later. That movie's hilarious. My 90s movies references. We have these multiple versions of ourselves. And the old version, before she can go, has to sit in all of this and almost like reintegrate all of these layers back into herself. Sit in the pain, sit in the trauma, think in the joy, and all of those versions of who you are and who you were. It's a funny movie. It's a comedy, by the way, guys. And all of these reintegrate into the skin. So when that version of ourself goes, all of it goes with it. There are no layers of skin to pack in your baggage to bring along with you anymore. There are no more layers of clothing or trauma or connections or any of that to bring with you, because they've all reintegrated back into that version of who you were, and then that goes. That's why we have to sit in it, you guys. And I don't mean dwell. I don't mean just feel, if you have to feel fucking awful, then feel fucking awful. But like, that doesn't mean like digging into these wounds. It means being okay. Like, just be like, yeah, I feel this and it sucks. And then sit in it until it doesn't suck. It doesn't take that long, I swear to you. We just resist it. We keep putting that distance there. So anyways, all of these roller coaster of emotions, these situations are rising now so we can sit in them. Not run, not distance, not push away, not bury it, but to sit and feel. And we already talked about this. I jumped ahead. It's like we reintegrate these feelings, these lessons, these traumas back into ourselves. So when this version dies, all of it goes with it. No suitcases to bring. So what you're feeling, you guys, this like heightened attachment to certain things or feelings or someone's or outcomes, they aren't signs. We've talked about this before. I'm going to say it one more time. Things that you see that remind you of a person, that's not a sign. That's a reminder. Signs from spirit, truly divine signs, give you direction. They tell you what to do. Not sorry. Okay? So all of these things that you're feeling, these attachments, these things, they are not signs. This is you trying to hold on to the old you. Okay? This is you trying to hold on to the you that identifies with these feelings, with these traumas, with these connections. That doesn't mean you're going to forget everything of the past, because then what's the point? Right? We came here to learn and grow. But what it means is when you do go think about these things, they no longer elicit anxiety and fear and anger. You are holding on to the things that you identified as that old person. We are scared of losing us. That's not really what's happening, okay? You're gaining the real you. You're just letting go of the old, outdated model, okay? It's like, I love this one. So it's like your iPhone, right? Like, it doesn't work, it's dead. This is my favorite one. I was really proud of this one. Guys, it's like throwing away an old pair of glasses that the prescription's wrong. I can't see clearly out of those glasses anymore, so they're gone. That's it. We don't have to have this strong reaction of fear of like, oh my gosh, no, like, I can't see. I need new glasses, so I get rid of the old ones. You will see clearer. You will feel crisper. Okay? So, for those who are feeling fear in this knowledge, what are you scared of losing? Okay? What are you holding on to so tightly? What part of your story, your trauma, your connections, your relationships are you grasping onto? Guys, think of a bird in a hand. What happens if you squeeze too hard? That's the answer. Okay? That is what we have to look at. And I posted this, I think, yesterday too, or maybe the day before. What are you scared of losing? You're holding on because you're scared of who you become without that thing. So you guys know, I know Jacqueline will know this one. You know, love is love is love is love. Well, a soul is a soul is a soul is a soul. My soul continues in all versions of who I am. Soul love is soul love is soul love is soul love. It keeps going. The soul keeps going. Rosie says her twin flame lives in Virginia. That's me. She's talking about me. We don't have to worry that love will go away, okay? The eagerness will go away. The ego will taper, you guys. The ego will fall. In fact, as this transition deepens and it spreads, it's almost like we begin to repel instantly from anything and anyone that isn't aligned in this way. And I see that being such a beautiful thing. It's like, nope, to the point that eventually we won't even encounter these situations or connections that aren't aligned to us. You know how we can have like instant alignment, instant manifestation? Well, we're also going to have instant repulsion. It's like this bubble around us. It's like, you know what? If you're not aligned to this, it gets repelled. And that's for our protection, but it's also because we are such a strong beacon of light that, like, I don't know, I see it as really beautiful. So for those of you, because so many people jumped off as I started talking about like the fear of losing people, because people are like, nope, I'm holding on to my person. Well, you're also holding on to the old version of yourself. Because love is love is love. A soul is soul is soul. A soul love, soul love, soul love. Okay? Those people that are ingrained and written truly in your soul and not in your ego, this only gets better. It only gets stronger. It only gets more aligned. And so we have to then ask another question, you guys. Get into the hard things. Am I trying to hold on to them? Or am I trying to hold on to the me that loves them? Am I trying to hold on to the me that they love? I'm going to say that one again, okay? Am I holding on to them? Or am I holding on to the me that loves them and the me that they love? Am I grasping and staying holding on to this because it truly makes me happy? Or am I scared of what may happen if I let go? The next part, this was like the end capper, and then I'm going to open it up to you guys questions if you guys want to ask any questions, is we aren't born to die. We are born to live. That old version of ourselves, that old outdated model, those old glasses, they're not working anymore. We're not seeing through them clearly anymore. So we're going to get rid of them. We're going to put all those layers on. We're going to sit in them, let them reintegrate so that we can move on. And now we can live. Because that wasn't living, you guys. That wasn't living. That was living to die, not living to live. And that's what's happening. And again, I shared with you, like, if you're like, I want to be in this group. I really want this to happen for me. Then you're not quite ready yet, okay? And that's not saying that people are better than others or anything. It's just that some of us, we are having all of this welling up of these sensations, of these feelings. And it's so we can finally sit in them and feel them until we can breathe easy, and then we can throw them out. And we can be born into the life where we get to live and not die. So, questions, comments, concerns? Let's hear them. Dancing? Clavicles. I have killer clavicles. Anybody have any questions? So I posted a spread this morning that's like we started this journey. We thought we were going here, but the universe gave us a detour, and then we hit a pain point, and then we had a growth point, and here's why. And now here's where we are. And I love it. I love it because it's like, look, I showed up here, letting go of my, but signs and syncs are everywhere. So I think that here's something that I'm being guided to share with you. Okay, Debbie, is that a lot of the signs and syncs we have given meaning to. Okay, so what we can do as we clear out the old, we're clearing out the closet, is that we can ask Spirit to disassociate these signs and syncs from our own ego, from our own human eyes, and to only ignite the ones that are truly from Spirit. And I've done this before where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing all of these reminders. I see this name, I see this number, I see this, I see that. And so I've asked Spirit to go, what is a true sign from you? And what's funny is totally bogus, like didn't make any sense, like Star Trek and cheerleaders. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything that I'm asking about? Of course, last night we put on a show and it's all Star Trek references. And I'm like, okay. Right? Like we can't be the ones always putting the meaning into it, because that's what we do. I mean, that's what life means, what we give meaning, right? We give things meaning. So you can kind of get a little scratch and you can totally recognize the recognition, right? Like, oh, I see this name or I see this number, and you can go, thanks for the remembering, thanks. I've been getting more into that, like where I have those little things where I'm like, hey, hi, okay, thank you. Thanks for the reminder. And then you can assign what that means. Okay? So I know that, and so Olivia, I know that you put again. I was trying not to break up the flow of everything because I don't know if you've ever seen me in a live. I will go off on a tangent. So I'm sorry that you feel like you had to say again, but I just didn't want to jump into there before I got everything out here. Okay, so I'm personally not feeling any schizophrenic or paranoid anythings. I did have psychosis for 2 years. And so I will say yesterday, I felt like I was kind of like losing myself. I was, you guys. I am losing myself. I'm losing the old version of myself. I think the paranoia, I told Olivia that lots of us feel crazy. Well, lots of us are. We all have our little moments. Thank you, Rosie, for helping out. She's my best friend. She's like the extension of my arm. So it's this, the paranoia comes from wanting control, okay? Like, and I'm not talking about you need to go see your doctor, because if you feel like you need to, please do. Or I guess now most of them are like online. But that paranoia of like, no, I think something else is going on, is ungroundedness, okay? Because when we're right here in this moment, all we have is right here in front of us. Our mind's not there. So I really do feel like this comes down to grounding your energy for you. His first name and last, isn't that him trying to keep me... Okay, so there is a difference, Debbie, okay? I'm selective of my environment, all the names in the world says. So I do totally believe that we have our own remembering of things, right? Like, oh, this reminds me. That's us. We gave it meaning. We have signs from Spirit, which are direct guidance on how to move, okay? Spirit doesn't want to just sit around and poke us. The universe isn't like, hey, hey, okay? The universe is like, get off your fucking ass and do it. Okay? That's the other thing, you guys. We were talking about stop stating the problem and ask for what you want. Like, the universe is not gonna, you can sit around all day long and be like, I would like some guidance. Why? Why don't you ask for the solution? Why don't you ask for the answer? Why are we asking for guidance when we could just get the answer? Like, why aren't we going straight to what we want? I don't get it. Okay, so I do believe we have our own things that remind us, that we make associations of, we give meaning. We have direct guidance from Spirit. And then I do truly believe that people can send us signs and messages, okay? I know in particular, there is a phrase, stuck, you're stuck with me. And so there was this Huey Lewis song, happy to be stuck with you, or however that song goes. But it like came on the radio and I was like, I was like, that was sent to me. Okay. And so again, we then get to determine what meaning that has for us. And if you want to, and this is in no judgment whatsoever, if you want to continue associating that with a sign, with a message, go for it. Like I said, what I've been doing lately is just going, okay, hi. Not being like, oh, I miss you so much. Why don't you reach out to me? Hi, I see you. I see you. How important is that phrase? You guys, I have people who reach out to me, and sometimes I don't give them advice, most of the time, okay? Like, I don't give them advice. I go, I see you. I hear you. That is so powerful, especially for me. Like, right? Okay, like, so sometimes I have to say things to other people, it doesn't matter how much I write it down or talk to myself in the mirror about it. As soon as it hits somebody else's ears, it's like catches fire, right? So now you get to decide how to do that. You get to decide what energy you want to send back into it. Do you want to send back in holding on? Hi, I'm here. Do you want to send back, no, sorry, like I only want physical, like 3D right in front of me? You get to decide that. Guys, every cell, every atom in our body is made of the exact same chemical compounds of the universe. Neil deGrasse Tyson, okay? Watched him talk about this. Which means we go, universe, help me, this is what I want. You have the whole universe inside of you. So you can decide. I've been using that sentence recently with my emotions. I see you. Yep, I see you. I feel you. The other thing that I do a lot of times, you guys, is I like when I get like stuck in a loop, I go, I love myself more than this thought. Is anybody else like the worst time bathroom time? Like I swear as soon as I get into the bathroom, I start all the like movie brains and conversations and stuff. Like I need to have something better, okay? Okay, whenever I try to cut the cord or do this or that, I get reminders on social media, etc., that I wasn't even looking for, and it's a post. Okay, so I don't know if anybody can validate this for me. When I was trying to get pregnant with my first daughter, I only saw things about pregnancy. I only saw pregnant women. If you tell yourself, if you start focusing on a red sports car, you're going to start seeing red sports cars everywhere. Okay? Because we put on these blinders. Like, even though we say, I want to cut my cords. And honestly, like, and this comes from Becca at Cosmic 8. We talked about this a bit. She has Native American heritage, and she was told this by a shaman, that we can no longer, guys, we have ascended so far that cutting cords doesn't work anymore. You have to remove the cord. Like, pull the bulb from this side, pull the bulb from this side, okay? Those of you who were in my last full moon healing group, that's what we did. We didn't cut the cords. Because guess what happens? You cut them, you have to remove the cord fully. But when we have something in our mind, we see that. Also, I'm trying not to let my conspiracy theorist things out, but our phones listen to us, okay? All right. Yesterday I looked up a picture of a snail for the thing. The only ads on my phone were snails or pictures of snails, okay? Our phones track us, okay? So there's that too, talking about paranoia, but is it giving you direction? Is it telling you what to do? If not, that's not from spirit. It's wanting to make an association, okay? So I'm scrolling down. Damn cookie, that's deep hyperware. I don't even know what I said. You know this. I don't remember any of this. So guys, are there any other questions about this? I think it's really important to remember that we're trying to hold on to who we identified with. Okay? It's like, no, I am a Gemini. No, I am an INFJ. You guys, love is love is love. A soul is soul is soul. You're not losing your soul. You're becoming more of your soul. You're losing your trauma. You're losing your binds. Okay? You're losing that heaviness, those layers that have been dampening your light. And if you're ready, honestly ready, you're not gonna doubt it. You just know. You're like, no, that's absolutely what I've been doing. How do I know if it's right though? I feel like I keep seeing plants for his name too. I will say this, and I say this in the deepest amount of love. And I hope, and there are people who have said this to me, and if I wasn't ready to hear it, I wouldn't have heard it. I would have gotten anger, because anger is an outward expression of fear. We see what we want to see. Okay? Guys, there are times where I see something that makes me makes me angry, because the only way I know to have boundaries is to be angry. There are times, you guys, that I purposely have conversations in my mind to purposely piss me off so I can hold up boundaries. There are times that I have conversations in my mind to purposely piss me off because I only can make decisions when I feel. I can't make decisions when I don't feel. Okay, I'm a Manny Gen, okay, for human design. I have to feel to make a decision. So I will put myself into stress to make a decision. I don't like that strategy anymore. I'd like to put that layer on, integrate it, and get rid of it. Throw it out with the old glasses, okay? You see what you want to see. I can look at the exact, say, okay, sorry. I used to do this with my 5th graders. We're totally doing this. Here we go, you guys, okay? I'm going to tell you about a house. It has this big giant gate on the front lawn that has a password to get into it. And when you get in, it has this big circle driveway that's all stones. There's this really heavy, security system. And when you get in, there's this big screen TV. There's 8 bedrooms. There's 7 bathrooms, a gourmet kitchen. Now, if you are looking for a house, you are going to be so focused on those bedrooms and those gourmet kitchens and that bathroom and that stone driveway. And if you're a robber, you are all focused on security system, the gate, the big screen TV, where the items are. Where your perspective is where you will see. You see what you want to see. I used to do this to show perspective in writing with my students. If you are a burglar, you're going to be focused on how do I get in and what can I steal? And if you are going to buy a house, you're focused on how many square feet is there? You are looking at the exact same thing, but getting out of it what you need to get out of it. And you have to start asking yourself, how do you get out of it? Sending love to you. I'm just looking at Debbie's. Continue. Yes, talk back to him and continue on my day. Yep. Keep being the amazing you. Oh, thank you. Olivia, I'm just going to leave it at this because this is where I come from, okay? I've been a professional healer for 10 years. And there are times, and Rosie will attest because Rosie's my best friend. She has seen me in my worst of days, that you can tell me something 30 times and I won't hear it if I don't want to hear it. Okay? She sat there and she laid her hands on me. This is true, like Thanksgiving a couple years ago. And she told me exactly what I know now. I didn't hear it back then. And she reminds me of that. She was like, I told you this. I'm like, yeah, okay, got it, okay? Birds eat seeds and then they poop. And then the seeds get planted and then they grow, okay? Not everything is a sign unless you give it meaning to be a sign. We see what we want to see. And we hold on to things until we squeeze every ounce of benefit out of it. Again, the entire point of this talk was to say, if you are ready, you will stop trying to make associations. You will stop trying to hold on to the signs and the memories and all of that, and you will realize that is the old version of yourself. Not everybody is ready to move on from that. When I had psychosis, it let me quit my job. It let me detach from being a mom. I didn't have to clean my house. I didn't have to pay bills. I got a big break. I didn't fake the psychosis, but I was getting a benefit from it. And as soon as I started giving myself those things, the psychosis went away. You are receiving, and this goes for everybody, every single person in the world. Whatever negative thing is in your life, you are getting a benefit out of it, or else it wouldn't be there. Whether it's I get to be angry and that lets me put up a boundary. I get to be angry and so I get to speak my truth. Whether it's I get to pull away and not make a decision, which keeps me out of blame, and this total idea of like, well, I was given a sign, so that gives me reason to hold on. It's not the sign. It's whatever benefit you are getting from holding on. And maybe that's that you don't have to go into fear of losing something that you truly wanted. And who are you without wanting that thing? But I'm not going to go any further into that conversation because I truly believe that when we're in this cycle of desperation, I do this with readings too, you guys. I have people who come to me and are like, I need a reading right now. When you are in desperation, you will only take in what you want to hear. And so I don't do emergency readings because all you're looking for is confirmation for what you want. I do readings for people who are kind of like, okay, here's where I'm at. Because then you're open to receive the message. So I'm not going to invest any more of our time or effort into that part of the conversation because I don't feel like there is truly an openness to go, yeah, no, I have been giving that meaning. Yeah, I want that to mean something. I want that to mean that this is going to work because all that is a fear of it not working. Okay? And that's where we have to look. So guys, are there any more questions about what we shared? Because I do have to jump off because now we have to switch rooms because like my husband has a conference call and so now I have to go out and do the homeschooling thing. So this is all, guys, this is all just to wrap up. We have to sit in what it is, toss out the old glasses and let us kind of morph into this new version of us. All of these emotions coming up, the anger, the desperation, the holding on, it's there because we're trying to hold on to an old version of us. We feel like we are slipping away, but we're projecting out ourselves into these situations, into these connections. Your soul never dies. Science says whatever is created can never be destroyed. You keep going. It's the trauma, it's the heartache, it's the stories, it's the narrative. Let's stop stating the problem and start going for and asking for the solution. Don't tell me you're thirsty. Ask for a drink of water. Get up and get yourself a drink of water. That's where we're at. And I love this, guys. I keep being told, I keep being shown that as we come into this light, we begin, just like we will have instant alignment, we will have instant repulsion. It means we will be protected from those things that aren't here for us, and we will be instantly brought into those things that are. Oh my gosh, that feels good. So let's not try. Let's be. And I hope this, guys, I hope it brought you everything that you needed. I do love you all so very much. You know, I've been working through my own triggers this week. Like I said, like I felt like I wasn't being heard. I wasn't being seen. That's the old me. That's the little me. That's the couple months ago me. I don't need to be her anymore. Because my soul is always seen by the people who can see it, by the people who can hear it. And those are in my alignment, at least for now. So I hope that this helps you guys. I hope that this resonates. I hope that this answers some of your questions and just brings you a little bit more peace and calm. And like I said, take that time to ask where in your body you're holding this fear, this anger, this trauma, this connection. Trust what you feel, what you see, what you hear. Go inside and sit in it. Let it reintegrate so that when this version goes, it all goes with it. Love you guys.